Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever it is in the world for everyone. We are back. Episode 7 of Morphs in the Swamp. This is an Animorphs actual play of a hack in the dark, which is a hack of the Blades in the Dark system done by On the Forefronts on Twitter. This is season 2, episode 7. We've been at this for a little bit, and last week an explosion happened and there's time travel, and we don't exactly know when we ended up. We're about to figure it out. And with unrelated to that, today's question, as we introduce everyone and their characters, today's icebreaker question is, what's your favorite cryptid? Like, what's the favorite one? I have a couple. I've always been a big fan of, not so much, I don't think it's so much of a cryptid, but being an indigenous person, I have feelings about wendigos. I have a lot of feelings. For me, they're Native American fae spirits, and I love them in their cannibalistic way so much. And I also love Mothman. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and continue on with Ollie starting us off.
Yeah, hello everybody, I'm Ollie. I play the Prince, Javier, and his favorite cryptid, it depends if you consider this a cryptid, but have any of you heard of the stories of the black-eyed kids?
Yes, time out. I need you to get in,
Eat, fuck,
Google. Can't eat. Our audio impaired, our audio impaired, our hearing impaired cannot hear you. He's talking about the black-eyed children. Admit. Yeah. There you go. Go ahead, Ollie.
Yep, okay. So, I think his favorite would be the black-eyed children, just because they're fucking spooky and cool.
They're spooky and cool.
Unless you don't consider that to be a cryptid.
Oh, it's definitely a cryptid. I think so. Mm-hmm.
I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, TTRPG streamer, and podcaster. I play Riley the Estrene, all around fantasy nerd and band geek. I think for Riley, it's probably Mothman, both because the purported origin of his name in Batman comics, and then also she believes he's Banshee.
Fair.
I'm playing Tony, whose favorite cryptid is probably not the Jersey Devil, Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's cool and fun to say, and
it is very fun to say. Just a real quick tangent. I have at my parents' house, we have a cat, and her name is Chewbacca, and we call her Chewie. But she's this tiny little orange thing. But we just started, for some reason, why not? Whenever we'd see her in the night, we'd be like, "It's our Chewie Cabra!" So just we had our own little tiny Chupacabra. So, all right. Sorry. Continuing. Which means it's you, Arnica.
It's you. Hi, I'm Arnica playing Effie, and let's see. My favorite cryptid, it's a toss-up between the Jersey Devil. I love the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Just the most ridiculous. Why? You know for a fact that y'all was drunk and you made that up on purpose. Like, it wasn't even I thought I saw something. You were just drunk in Jersey and mad that, like, all these other places had cryptids and you just had other people from Jersey and y'all made something up. And nobody believes it. No one's ever seen it, but everyone's like, yes, Jersey Devil. Love it. He's my boy. But also, Molo Makimbe, the tiny pygmy brontosaurs of Africa.
Yes. Did y'all ever watch Arnica, I'm pretty sure you might have. I don't remember what this movie is called, but it was literally about brontosauruses in Africa. It's like an 80s movie. And there was like a mom and a baby. Does anybody remember that movie? Please find it. Like, if you don't remember it, I don't. It's like maybe it was a fever dream that I had. I don't know, but I consumed everything dinosaurs as a childhood, which just surprised no one. So hey everyone, a couple things. Reminder: this is an Animorphs game, where we deal with being children in a war where aliens take over people's brains to enslave them. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with that. I would say that this is very much an R-rated type of game. Also, this takes place, well, it did take place in the 90s in southern Louisiana, and there are some social consequences of just existing sometimes in those places, whether you are a queer person, a person of color, or both. And sometimes those comes up when it comes to interacting with the police and things like that. But I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that for a little while. But yeah, there is, because hey, there's some stuff that happened. And on top of all of that, we are a viewer affected game, and you can affect the game with your bits, subs, and donations. Every 100 biddies gives a reroll. If you subscribe to the channel, you get an extra dice to your rolls. To whoever you see that here can roll dice, which is not me. I don't roll dice. None of these awards go to me, but I get the money. If you want to donate $5, you can give our team an auto crit that they can use. It's important sometimes because failure in Blades in the Dark really, really hurts. It is where the game shines as a whole. But it could mean the difference between dying and being alive. And on top of that, if you donate $2 or more, you can give a sliding scale of ideas. Like, what do you, of just shit that can happen to the kids? Of course, none of the shit that can happen will cross our lines and veils. We're taking care of ourselves. Please, also, you take care of yourselves when watching this show. So, last time, the team teamed up with some canon characters from the books. Both Tobias and Axe came to help them out on a mission to the Gulf of Mexico to hopefully stop what is known as a Sario Rip, which is a time-traveling phenomenon that was named after an Andalite. And they discovered the reason the Sario Rip was happening was because Visser One was planning on taking a team into essentially the Ice Age and start the Yeerk Empire in the Ice Age as compared to now, and hopefully actually achieving symbiosis instead of the constant need to infest people. I don't know if y'all actually got more into that, but she was trying to see if symbiosis was possible with human beings. Very fortunately, y'all were on par to destroying her plans. But the thing is that what you don't know is that Visser 3 was not having Visser 1 one-up him on anything. And she was there, and the Andalite bandits were there, so why not just drop the nuke on them? And that's what happened. A nuke was dropped on you. There was a flash of light, and that's where we ended it. And so where we start is things are, as you sort of come to, the four of you, in whatever form that you were in before, you were still in now, there is a strange dampness on your skin. Not like you're covered in seawater, but this is a dampness that you're all familiar with, and that sometimes in certain places, even in a colder environment, it can still be humid. And so you feel the cool humidity on your skin, and that is like the first sensation that you feel. And when you come to, you are on a forest floor that is covered in moss and fern and a little bit of like flowering grass. You see dandelions even, and it's dark, and it's not dark because it's nighttime. It's dark because like when you look up, and again, whatever eyes that you see the thickness of these canopies that you are in, in a way that y'all have never unless you've been to like an actual remote rainforest that's barely touched by human beings, like you would never know what that's like. But that's what, like, it's an untouched canopy. And you see little bits of sunlight. And y'all all sort of become conscious. Y'all don't even know, you don't know where you are, you don't know when you are, you don't know where your friends are. Javier.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep.
So, what happened to the whale that came out of my ass?
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening. You are currently a dolphin, right? Or did you turn back into a whale at the end of the show?
No, I think I was still a dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
Just reverse birth. Well, not reverse birthing. Birthing incorrectly a whale.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's coming out of your ass. It's literally like, you're not like birthing it. It's almost like the entire back of your dolphin, and it's not out yet completely. Like the back of you has opened like down the middle, and it's literally being extracted from your body. Like there is a dolphin you are extracting a beluga whale from your body out of you. And nature around you notices, because there's just like the forest creatures are screaming. Everything is screaming at you. Small animals, birds, which could alert to everyone where Javier's at. But yeah, that's happening.
I think I just kind of scream out, "Effie, this is not coming out of my ass. This is so much worse."
So Effie is she's spinning in circles because all of this is exactly what we were trying not to do. This is terrible. This is exactly what we're trying not to do. And to be fair, part of that whale is technically touching your butt.
If you're nearby enough, he'll just flip you off.
As a dolphin.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. I will even say, real quick, I will even say, for the sake of Javier, luckily enough for him, he kind of woke up in a river. So for some reason, like, to help with the buoyancy of everything.
Okay, because I was literally running over to try to knock the beluga whale over before it grew too big, and we couldn't move him.
You're still
the fire ants all over again.
You're a chimpanzee too, so still.
It would have been twice as funny.
I know.
You ever seen a monkey shove a whale? I'm fine.
This is all y'all. Y'all see, y'all do whatever.
Alright, so I'm just standing by the bank of the river, and there's just like this, buddy. I'm just unhelpful. I'm screaming all sorts of unhelpful tips. I'm trying to get you to roll over. I'm just afraid that I don't know how deep the water is, and I'm not going in to check, so I just keep screaming, "Roll over!"
It's not a very deep river, but it's deep enough for a dolphin to swim in for sure. But you're not like in the big part of the river. You're like on the banks of the river, and like eventually the head of the beluga just pops out and screams like just and absolute horror madness is going on at this riverbank.
Do you have any better advice than roll over?
I think Riley probably makes it to the bank at this point. She's still in her bladed jaguar form.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do much to help this situation except just kind of watch. I'm also going to keep an eye out, look around, see if anybody else is near us.
Make a survey. And these are fortune rolls, so.
Oh, that's good, because I only have one in survey.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 5.
Yeah, like you're looking around and there is no sign of sentient life around you. Like you were deep in a forest with the river. The river, like I said, the river itself is not very deep. The water is fairly shallow and it is running, and it is that pristine bluish green that sometimes you only see like in the mountains because it's glacier runoff sort of stuff. But there's no people. Like in fact, Tony, where are you? Like, does she even see an owl at any point?
Probably because on waking up, there's going to be a very angry owl noise, which doesn't end up being a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I've heard it before, but I cannot describe how fucking owls are pissed off.
They
start
scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like most creatures when they're pissed off, they scream.
Oh yeah, but
yeah.
And then I think the owl's just going to hunt. Tony's probably not even in the driver's seat at the moment. He's got a lot going on. And it's in a forest. It's dark. Yeah. And also, what the fuck just happened? So,
yeah, with that, Riley, that information, you can't even find Tony. Like the owl screaming, just sounds like the noises that are in this forest to begin with. You know, just the upset noises of a beluga whale coming out of a dolphin in the middle of a river with a screaming chimpanzee.
I spin back around and to my 2 friends. Effie, is there anything we can do? Is he going to be okay?
Normally, it is not something so big coming out of something so small. Tell him to roll over.
Eventually,
here, please roll over.
Keep breathing.
As eventually Javier, like, and this is painful. It is not a pleasant experience at all. But you are left uninjured, like your skin sort of melds and forms back as this whale leaves your body and just sort of like confusingly goes into the river. You can no longer turn into this animal because the DNA the copy that you copied has left your system or your space in zero space, which you don't know what zero space is. I don't think anyone's explained to you what zero space is, but that's an Effie problem. And it wades itself, it flops around and wades itself to some of the deeper parts of the water because it knows that that's where it's supposed to go, and it's like having a moment, and you're a dolphin having a moment, but the whole process takes about 10 minutes, and it's terrifying, but you're all sort of there as people. And commence role-playing, please, because I have to very suddenly bio, but y'all could just do what you do. Talk to each other, please. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn into a man. I'm gonna go ahead and stop being a dolphin. I think I'm done with aquatic creatures for a little bit.
Find some cover first. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It mostly just hurt and was uncomfortable. But I mean, we heal from these things pretty easy thanks to all this. Oh man, I'm never again. Are you okay? You guys fought one of the Vissers, right? Is everyone okay?
Yeah. Not so much fought. Tony missed with his hawk, and then I took out some controllers, and I was there. I could have destroyed the machine, but Visser 3 showed up and dropped the bomb anyways. And I let her do this.
Well, I mean, it was this or be in the middle of a nuclear blast. I think you made a good choice.
We could have taken out Visser One, though. It would have changed the war.
Well, I mean, she's here somewhere, right? Effie, are you familiar with I don't know, any idea when we are? Like, I know they said Ice Age, but like that's a big. There's a lot.
Effie has been on Earth for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I found the study material.
No, bro, I am giving you Mr. Bubbles is so disappointed in you face just right now as I'm like, no, I do not know when we are. We are in the cold. I got nothing. I learned that one from TV.
I was hoping the documents would have a little more information about when, what, why, anything. Fucking anything.
Riley is pacing up and down the bank. I don't think past periods would have been of any importance in a document like that.
I mean,
True.
there were plenty of files that were not hosted in the thing we had. I'm sure that somewhere there is a whole bunch of very helpful items, such as the time we are in, and what flora and fauna we should expect to be murdered by, and where they're going to actually do all of this, but I did not have any of that. And now we are very far back. Can you not taste all of this? The air tastes young.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter how far back we are. We have to make sure that the Yerks don't get a host like they wanted. Because even if it was an accident, they were successful now. We have to make sure we stop them.
True. I was just wondering what we might be looking out for. Because, I don't know, maybe we're looking for other humans at this point. Or some form of it. Speaking of, where's our last human?
I haven't seen him. He was an owl the last I saw.
I think I'm just gonna like start walking out and like calling for Tony. Tony, not too loud. I don't want to attract too much attention.
Tony, as you're an owl, there are things about this that instinctually feel very normal and natural to your owl's brain. It's really not that much different to what your owl is used to. But it does know this is not its territory. And as you're probably upriver, a little bit, maybe perched, looking for something to eat, you hear an interesting, like, noise, of something just sort of grunting and burrowing, and you see essentially an entire tree, not the one that you're on, but from maybe across the river even, just sort of fall over. And this is when you're like, oh, okay, that is something. And what you see is, well, it's a beaver. But it's really big. Like it's like small hippo-sized big. And then you see another one and some that are like a little bit smaller. And you just see its grab with its giant mouth like onto this log, and starts to like drag the tree like onto the bank.
That.
Just beaver gonna beaver.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's a little too big. I don't think I'm quite that angry to go try and fight all of that. Is interesting though. I think we're gonna go look for animals.
You're gonna keep looking just for more animals? Like to eat specifically?
God, I don't.
Are you just looking for more things?
I think more things in general.
Okay.
I'm vaguely curious now because that is different.
Okay. Are you going upstream or downstream? Like, what's the...
Down.
Downstream. So, luckily, you're going to be heading towards your friends. And go ahead and roll me a survey or a study, please. Whichever one you feel like rolling.
Wonderful.
And these are fortune rolls. Yeah.
I am very bad at both.
Mm-hmm.
And the owl does not help with that because it is more focused on other things. I do not see even my own fate. It was a 1.
It was a 1. Okay.
Yeah.
You were so fixated that there were giant beavers, but also like in your search going downstream looking for something, there's a beluga whale in the river. And you're like, and that sort of like is what snaps you back into reality, right? Because despite it being normal for you, it's out of place for here.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Definitely. Fuck. I think I'm going to just be landing in whatever clearing is closest, and
there's the water is the clearing. Like there's no clearing.
Okay. Yeah.
like,
no.
Yeah. When I say this is
uh,
dense and thick, it is
oh,
dense
oh,
and thick.
It is
Yeah.
dense. Yep.
Mhm. It's like Amazon
Honestly,
rainforest.
considering
dense.
these trees, theoretically, I can just transform even up here on a branch because they're probably thick enough.
Mhm.
Probably get on the ground floor though.
Yeah, you can still get on the ground. Like that's
Yeah,
not
no,
an
no,
issue.
no. I
Mhm.
just am. Sorry, thinking it through in my brain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna land and transform back, and then probably just punch at the closest tree, which is probably the one I was just on.
You just punch a tree. It's an oak
Yeah.
tree. Well, it's a,
Yeah.
it's actually a pine. It's a pine tree. Type of pine. Just punch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You punch it, and some tiny birds
Yeah.
are just like, fuck this guy, and they get scared and fly away.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
expecting much. Javier, you're welcome to start hearing that if you'd like, though. That's more than fine.
I call out to the girls. I think I hear boy angst.
I mean, fair.
Not even just like boy angst. Like I would even call it like jock angst. Like,
Yeah.
Would I pick up Tony's scent?
Oh
as a jaguar?
yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
I think I know where he is. And I'll just take off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll follow. So, Valve, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We made a big deal about bringing my backpack of supplies earlier, but then we turned into whales.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My question for you
Mm-hmm.
is there any amount of stress I could take to do a flashback where I saran wrap that to one of the whales?
Yeah, you could take stress to saran wrap to that to one of your, like, as long as it wasn't towards Tobias or Axe, yes.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I don't want to miss the one thing that I remembered to grab.
Like, I would even say it'd be hilarious if you saran wrapped it to Arnica, but or Effie, but I don't think that is it. But I feel like at some point the chimpanzee just had the backpack because it made sense. Like,
It makes the most
Right.
sense.
Right before. Okay. If you take the stress, I will have taken the backpack. I will have put the little backpack on again before I climb the ladder.
Yeah. Can you
That's
go ahead and
adorable.
just roll me a we'll make this some sort of to determine how much stress you take. It's pretty complicated. It's gonna be 2 stress at the very least. So
Perfect. I
Mhm.
have 3 slots, and now I have 1.
Oh, good. At least we can plan here.
At least now we have weapons.
There you go.
And it gives us an avenue for flashback for anything else we may have brought that we need.
Maybe.
Exactly.
In
Just
the
not
backpack.
my flashback.
Nope, not Javier's flashback. But yeah, there's the chimpanzee has a backpack, so like, that you were able to carry with you. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Absolutely, just saran wrap a backpack. I also imagine you put everything in plastic bags in the backpack too.
Of course.
Like, of course. Like, and then just wrapped it to somebody. Like, excellent.
Yeah, I'll lead us to Tony.
Tony's hitting a tree.
Mm-hmm.
His face is not even red. It is white, like whiter than his normal face. He is pale.
Riley runs up and then kind of circles a little ways slowly around you. You okay, Tony?
Yeah. He'll shake himself and...
Did you see a yerk on the tree? Why are you feeding the local flora?
No, I saw a giant beaver. Like it huge. Well, like a family maybe. I didn't really stick around that long to check.
How big?
Bigger than you are right now?
Hippo-sized. Yeah.
So we must be pretty far back then.
Just pick for me how fucking scary the goddamn tails on those things are gonna be. Beaver tails hurt. Those things are all muscle.
We need a plan. We need a plan to survive. We need a plan to get home. We have to find the yerks.
Well, I think our first priority has got to be survive. So we should probably try to find a way out of the forest so we're not immediately unaware of what's around us. I don't know about prehistoric forests, but there's always more animals that you can see. And I'm not sure if even looking over to Riley, this specimen will keep the rest of these things away.
I have other tricks, and we can always find another if needed.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
We
maybe we
should
can
find
find
shelter.
Exactly. Something with maybe some rock walls. I know you were just a bird. Did you see anything, Tony?
Dude, you know I was an owl, right? Like, it's dark now, but it was not a minute ago.
I'm gonna be honest. Most of my expertise comes in not zoology.
Owls can see pretty well during the day too. They are just specialized at night.
Yeah. Oh no, they see great during the day. I just meant like I wasn't really looking for an exit, but honestly, even any of us who can fly could probably get out of the tree fine and look around.
All right. So I may or may not have lost the piece of paper with my clock on it, so I don't know how much time I have left as a chimpanzee. Do I have enough time to climb a tree and look, or should I probably put 4 feet back on?
As an Andalite, you are aware, like, the Sario Rip fucks with time. Tony clearly changed back and Javier changed back. So your internal clock is telling you have time. Y'all don't have a lot of time still in your forms, but you got at least 30 minutes. So
okay. So I'm going to wiggle out of the backpack and hand it to Javier just so that I have full range. And I'm gonna just be like, I'm going to climb this tree and see how far the forest spreads. Is there anything you want me to look for? Do your people have fire yet? Should I be looking for smoke? Should I not be looking for smoke?
We don't know where we are or when it is. I'll come with you and help. And I'm going to demorph, and I will go into my bald eagle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna head up the tree. If it's a North American conifer, boom.
Yeah.
Branches for days.
Branches for days.
Fucking days.
Yeah.
As a child, my chimpanzee is so happy right now. Like
Mhm.
I can stretch, but I don't have to stretch too far. It's just so easy. My honest to God, no tree climbing ass can climb a pine tree. So,
Mhm.
like, my chimp is just thrilled. Get to the top, and what do I see?
More trees. So as you're starting to like climb this tree, and I'll do Arnica first, and then we'll get to the eagle, because the eagle can clearly get a little bit higher. Arnica, you're starting to notice that the landscape that you're climbing on, and because y'all are in essentially a ravine, where this river was, it's mountainous. You're in mountains. And so from climbing from a tree from where you're at, you're not going to get necessarily high enough to see over the mountainscape, so to speak. But you are in mountains. Go ahead, and if you want to roll me something, if you're looking for something specific, I can maybe give you something else. That's like your general
Okay. Lord, I'm
consensus so far.
This
And this is a fortune roll, so.
All right. So fortune roll would be me just rolling my one survey dice.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. I got a 4.
A 4. So a bit of a success. You're kind of looking for like signs of like different types of life? Maybe?
I am looking specifically for something that does not look right. Any kind of signs that something has tried to industrialize. Are there any signs that trees have been cut down? Do I see smoke? Do I see anything that makes me think not natural?
From where your vantage point is, you do not see anything in the distance that is unnatural. You do have a slight success. So what I will say, what you might see, like thinking that you are just unsuccessful, so to speak, and you're coming down from the trees, because this is so strangely dark, from the corner of your eyes through the thicket, and it's far, but it's just a slight thing that kind of tweaks you a little bit because of how unnatural. There is a small flash somewhere in the canopy, just like a little boop. I mean, it's one time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I can feel that it's getting time for me to start heading back to the ground. It took a minute to climb these high-ass original growth trees. So I'm just going to mind talk and call up to Riley and say what direction I think I saw something, and ask her to use your eagle eyes. Okay, none.
Yeah.
We have definitely seen the 1980s animated Hobbit. I may actually have said use your eagle eyes.
Yeah,
I fucking
Riley,
love that.
It's canon that Riley watches it because it was one of her dad's favorite movies.
Legolas, what you off I see? Yeah.
Yeah, as you're coming down, Bald Eagle flies straight up past you. It is nighttime, so it's not going to be the best at this, but...
Oh, no, it's not nighttime. It is daytime.
Oh, it's not.
It's just, it was so dark because of how thick the canopy is that light was not being, like, let into the forest.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's daytime. It's, from what you can gather, probably the afternoon even. So it will be night soon-ish. You just don't know because you don't even know what season you are in. So are you flying all the way up? Or are you to above the canopies? Or are you going to investigate what Effie pointed out to you?
Is there room for me to fly under the canopies like that?
There is. You are very large. Like, bald eagles are huge. In fact, give me 1 second.
Six to 8 feet wingspan.
Yeah, they're pretty big. It's once you get into more of the closer part of the canopy, it's like towards the top, like it's way easier. In fact, you even notice that there are large bird nests existing here that are very similar, like you would know, very even similar to eagle's nest.
Okay.
Funny part, y'all, most of the animals that exist today had some form of them like 1 million years ago. Like, oddly enough. But
Yeah,
like
so
go ahead.
I'll call down to everyone. I'll check out what Effie saw, and then I'll do a couple circles and see if I see
Mm-hmm.
if anybody else made it here with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll head for that, and then kind of do some circles under the canopy, and then maybe go above the canopy if possible, just to see what I see.
Yeah, you're looking for this thing in particular. Go ahead and roll for me. You could do a study or a survey.
I'll do study.
Okay.
5 and a 3, so 5.
Yeah, so 5 is a success. It's difficult, right? Like getting through these canopies and looking. But Effie did say that she saw a flash, a light of some sort. And you notice that it's very hard to see through the canopy when you're flying too fast or too quickly, so you sort of land for a second and you look around in that direction and you wait and then you see it. And then you beeline for it. And the closer that you get, there is just a very, very small inside of like the trees. This metallic box built into the tree, like into the trunk of the tree, and there is what looks like there's a square part, and you look inside and there is a round lens, and this oddly resembles a camera. Like, it's not the same kind of camera that you have seen before, but it's a camera. Like, almost like a trail cam.
That's odd. So it doesn't... Does it look like an Earth camera at all? Does it look like an older camera? Does it just completely...
It looks very
unknown?
alien. It's recognizable as a camera, but it's very alien.
Interesting. And it's stuck in the tree?
Yeah, it's like built, like someone carved out like part of the tree and built it into the tree to be there.
Okay. I'm not out of range for being able to talk with everyone, right? Or am I?
No, you're not out of range. It would be a little like, it might come sporadically, but you can get in range.
Yeah, then I'll come back to everyone. Found a camera. It looks alien, maybe. I don't know. I could destroy it, could leave it. You all discuss and decide while I continue to look. And I'll keep circling to see if I can find anything.
Well, that might be our only connection to the Visser. Maybe we leave it, see if we can figure out where it's transmitting to. Also, I would like to, since knowing that there is things afoot, actually shift back into the gorilla, my safest. Just in case.
If anything comes at you, you're a gorilla.
Exactly.
And I will say, so Riley is gonna go. She's flying back into the air to survey, and you're going upriver. You go higher, and it is a mountain range. Like, it is not quite, if you've ever been to the Rocky Mountains, it's not quite as prominent as the Rockies, but they're pretty prominent peaks. There's even some snow caps on some of them, and even what could be recognized as a glacier. And you see interesting things just along the river, using the river as a water source. You see the giant beavers. You see storks that are like 6-7 feet tall. You see black bears. Just black bears. Black bears have lived for a long time, apparently. I looked this up. It's like, black bears. Not hunted to extinction. And of course, probably the most impressive thing that you see so far is it's probably the size of an Asian elephant. It's not a mammoth, but it's a mastodon. Just a little furry pachyderms, just hanging out in the river.
Riley, I don't know if she knows what to make of all of this. I mean, we knew it was called Project Ice Age or whatever, so I think we had an idea of where we might be going. Don't know if that's where we actually landed, but it seems to be somewhere along those lines. Yeah, so I will survey this river and kind of cut back. And do I see humans anywhere?
No. You do not see any humans.
That worries me. Yeah, I'll do a big circle. And then if I don't see anything, I will head back to where I can talk to everyone. Once I'm back in range. We are very far back. There's a lot of wildlife here. A lot. Everything's giant. I don't see the controllers though.
Were you close to Visser when we whatevered?
I was maybe 2 feet away from her.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like it's a direct transportation or whatever. But we're all pretty near, so it can't be too much farther.
I should have stopped her.
Maybe we're lucky and she's under Javier's whale. Drowned.
That would be the best outcome for her. Because once we get our hands on her. Look, we needed to survive. This was a way to survive. You saved all of us, Riley. Now we just have to finish the job.
I guess we don't really know, but she couldn't have had that much with her. This doesn't seem like how they were planning to do this.
Oh, but it's the same effect. They would have had plans. They would have known what they were doing. They would have had equipment.
Well, I mean, they didn't get the chance to set everything up. How many other controllers were there? I know you guys managed to take some out.
A lot.
If we're outnumbering them now, if it's just Visser, this might be our best chance.
There were a lot up there, Javier. We took some out, but there were still a lot. I don't know how many would have come with. Well, I would say I don't know how close you had to be to it to be protected, but you were in the water.
Yeah, I was pretty good distance away. So anyone on the facility itself probably was brought over. We haven't seen the kids anywhere, so they were diving pretty deep. We can hope that they're back home. Why don't we focus on finding shelter, like we said, and then we'll figure out a plan to search.
So Effie's gonna go ahead and kind of stretch and roll herself out of her chimpanzee, get back in her regular form, and she's gonna look over at Tony, because Tony, you're still human, correct?
Huh?
And just kind of, if there are cameras, you should probably not be human. We should hope that we will get home.
They
And if
already
we
know
do-
what I look like.
Effie.
The Yerks don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
They may have suspicions, but your friend, I don't want them to know it's you. For your family. Your family and your safety and your friends. And also, that things sound much louder right now than they did a few minutes ago.
whatever. Ran is still an eagle. You just went with your horse form. Go back to the owl, I think, if I'm going to try and keep up with the rest of you. Now, or a very defenseless tiny bird, but I am not feeling that.
On my survey, did I see anywhere that might be good for shelter, either on the ground or possibly up in a big tree?
Yeah, honestly, it's like in general, y'all looking, it's very the mountains are very cavernous, so y'all could likely find an alcove in the rock structure that could serve as a shelter.
Okay.
And most of us can fly, so maybe one a little bit up off the ground, so we don't have controllers sneaking up on us.
Okay, so are we heading off towards where we know where the camera is, or away from where we know the camera is?
Let's go away. We might not be human at this stage, but we are animals that likely they wouldn't see at least this version of us here.
This definitely
So
we're
let's-
not gorillas here. That much I can assure there were
So
not
let's-
gorillas.
So let's try to at least not be detected right away. Yeah. As we're going, I think I'm gonna try to like hop from tree to tree, Tarzan it as best I can, just to
As a
not
gorilla? Like
Yeah, I know. I know.
like,
it's
I
real
have
bad.
something to tell you about gorillas. They're
Yeah,
they're ground apes.
Yeah, I know. But just anything to try and avoid leaving a direct trail
A direct trail.
where they see my giant hand footprints.
Yeah, and
You
then
can,
huh?
you can also become a mouse. I'm sure Riley would fly you.
Yeah, I can carry you. I promise not to eat you.
If anyone's going to, I don't mind. I'm a little mouse. Someone carry my backpack, please. We have 2 guns in there and some clothes and stuff.
I got hands again. I love having hands.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
for Effie, like kind of like during your travel, because as Andalites, I don't know if y'all knew this, Andalites eat through their feet. Like they absorb nutrients and whatnot through their feet, and it is everything in your as you're walking is so rich, Effie. Like the soil, the fern, the fungi, the little isopods and the worms, even like the soil is just rich with nutrients, like even more so than like the forest that you're in. Like clearly it's just there's not a lot of there's no contaminants.
This is
Yeah, the most
just
organic.
as good as when I accidentally had a mouth and floor fries, but it's also better because I'm eating the right way and not shoving things in my face.
Oh, in my face.
Well,
Also
in
healthier.
Javier's face.
Mm.
Because here's the thing is the ground and the plants on Earth is super polluted right now. It's right at people like, ooh, it's industrialized. Nah, Earth's like baby steps on the curve. I should know because I come from an actual planet that has gone through all that and then said, oh no, let's make this nice again now that we've really kind of mastered space travel, Z space, this, that, and the third. So I have literally never had anything like this. No one has. The ground, the food, the grass, nothing has tasted like this on my planet for like millennia at this point. It hasn't tasted like this on Earth in centuries. And I am just happy as a pig. I'm kind of not paying as much attention as I should be because I am just kind of focusing on how good this is. I'm doing the fat kid dance. If you had a little kid, if you ever knew a little kid who danced when they ate, I was one of them little fat kids. That's kind of what she's doing. She's doing one of these as she walks, just kind of swaying. Fat kid dance.
As an equal carrying Mouse Javier, I will find us a cave alcove that's kind of up off the ground.
Yeah, those who can't fly will have to do a little bit of climbing, but you can find a dry cave that seems to be free of the elements. There are a couple of like actual like rats that are in there, and if you it's hard to see inside, but you also see these tiny oddly enough tiny little pig-like creatures, almost like peccaries. Like they don't seem very dangerous. Like it's not like a full-on wild boar, but it does like sort of scare them. And they kind of squeal, and it's like there's babies, and they're like, oh, this was our house, and you're a big scary bird. And so like they're and like Arnica, you see that, like, coming down the cliff, just little pigs, like, coming down the cliff, squealing tiny pigs. And that's where Riley's at.
I am so suspicious of you. You're gonna make me fight a giant fucking hog. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Once we get in the cave, I will gently send Javier down and I will demorph.
Yeah.
How cold is it?
It is probably around, like, within the sun, it feels like it's like 40-ish degrees, right? And so in this cave it is fairly cold. So it will most likely be below freezing when the sun goes down.
It's a problem we need to solve. I see it stand there shivering in my swim top and bike shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As I shift back, I think with his tiny little twink body, he's gonna try to be big and wrap himself around from behind you. Like, yeah, I have some clothes in the bag, but we might need something a little more substantial
to kill something.
Effie is picking her way up the rock face a little bit carefully. I mean, she's actually got really great balance with her 4 feet, but she's putting her feet down carefully, looking for dry wood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that y'all get naked. Y'all never have any clothes on. And I'm not as cold as you guys because I have lovely lush fur. Oh, my beautiful full body coat.
Mm-hmm.
But you poor naked things with your little pink skin on display, you're going to need some fire. So I'm looking for, oh, God damn it, little cat. So I'm looking for dry wood as I'm making my way up there so that when I show up with, not as much as we could really use, but enough to get a fire started.
Yeah. Like, obviously you're not going to find logs or anything like that, but you're definitely going to be able to find like twigs and branches and it's not as dry as you would like it to be, but there are dead things on the forest floor to pick up. There's even dry leaves and whatnot. But there's at least enough to start something, but y'all would have to go foraging essentially in order to get something a little bit more substantial out through the night.
All right, so I come in with my armful of like twigs and pine cones.
Yep, definitely some pine cones, yeah.
Bunch of leaves, needles, and just kind of drop them on the floor and go, this is not enough. But it will start a fire.
True.
What do we do now?
I think we need to
go.
Sorry. I think we need to separate into tasks and get some things done. I pull out the alien gun. Effie, do you think this will kill one of those giant beavers?
I figured out, I'm looking at him like, yes.
Okay. I'll try to get some food.
And their skin.
If we can.
And it as a morph, and then you can get wood too. If that's what you're planning to do.
Okay. Morph, kill, skin.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. If someone could collect honestly the beaver kind of collects a lot of the points. Now that I think about it, I was gonna separate into more pieces, but the beaver really covers a lot.
Beaver covers a lot.
I'll come with you. It'll be helpful to have some other morphs.
Mm-hmm.
And to make sure you don't get in any trouble.
If we could also maybe forage, just in case, this doesn't go well. Any plants or any, well, that might be dangerous for consumption.
You're gonna have to try eventually.
Did you bring any granola with you in your bag?
Someone take a point of stress because I'm not doing it.
To pack snacks?
You actually already had brown sugar granola because you carry that with you.
All the time. This is true.
All the time? Like...
That's fucking true. Yeah, well, it's kind of like some fresh mountain glacial
you always
water.
Try to give the yerk drugs.
Always.
Whenever you can.
Cool. then yeah, I guess let's try to hunt.
Hunt some giant beaver. I'm here, Fred. I have to go to the bathroom real quick again. But, that sounds amazing.
You know what's funny? The only morph that I have that has any point in hunt is Heather.
That's funny.
Do you still have that form? Or you do, yeah, because you...
Yeah, I remembered everything. Although I can fuse my morphs and just grab whichever one I want. So I don't think I'll be Heather. Because that'd be a little weird.
Sure. I don't have much in hunt, but I mean, with my Jaguar and finesse, I don't know, I'd probably still get the shit slapped out of me trying to take down those beavers.
I am so hilarious. Oh, I am such a hilarious fucking Andalite. Do I have a single predator animal, y'all? No. No. Your best bitch got some deer and some crow and a beluga and a chimpanzee and a Javier and a beluga and a spinner dolphin.
One of those is...
Get creative. Get up in a tree. Wait for something to go underneath you
and go
the
beluga whale. Yeah, no.
I
wish I had not considered that.
I mean, if they're trying to get the giant beaver, we can also be gathering supplies. Although
we could, but it's gonna take 4 people, and it's gonna take at least 3 people and a freaking gorilla to move that beaver.
I'm on it.
Or another one of the beavers.
I mean, it would still take 2 giant beavers to move 1 dead giant beaver. Them giant beavers are giant beavers. We're talking about a lot of weight.
There are babies.
Yeah, but we want a big boy.
Like a hippo-sized beaver?
Everybody can't cuddle up together under a baby. Everybody has to cuddle up together under the skin of a grown-up beaver. I don't have to cuddle, but I can lay down. They can all lean up against my back and then get under the beaver skin. They're not all going to fit under a baby beaver. Someone's ass will be hanging out, pal.
If I'm going to smack a controller around with the beaver tail, it needs to be a full-size beaver.
Right? How are they they're supposed to fight for their lives as a beautiful baby beaver.
All right, so so one of us should stay human so that we can touch it and acquire it, and it goes stupid for a minute, and then that'll give everyone else a chance to do the things we need to do, right?
Yeah. I love y'all so much. Do whatever you gotta do.
I mean, we can both stay human. We should probably cover our faces. We always carry ski masks. I mean, that's been canon since
that has
episode 3 of season 1.
Yep. You always carry ski masks. And honestly,
we are a paranoid group.
The ski mask itself doesn't probably actually keeps your face warm. So it's not a bad idea.
It's a couple of teens in bike shorts and tight tops, just walking around basically naked with ski masks on in the wood. This is a problem.
Y'all need to put your fur back on till we get to the river. I didn't think please. Your pinkness is so cold. It's red and white now.
Hey, Javier is brown.
Yeah, excuse me. I am at least a couple shades brown.
I can't. I
One of
know
us
for a
needs to
fact
stay
I'm
by the
round two.
cave
You
too,
son of a-
though. Otherwise, those things will come back.
I mean, okay, so someone needs to stay and start a fire with what we got going, and the other three of us will head and go beaver chasing. Who else
I
go
already
beaver
have a giant animal. You guys go, and I'll find one later.
Hmm.
It's only about the size of the rhino anyway. Well, a little bigger, but
in case something comes up and you don't have time to morph fast enough, I give you the regular gun.
sure.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah. I don't know too much about it, except you pull this down, you pull that down. So don't shoot us when we come back. Stay safe.
There aren't exactly a lot of humans. Who am I going to mistake you for?
I'll make sure not to. We'll make sure not to be a giant beaver. Is all I'm
Tony
saying.
is so sassy today. He's so upset.
Tony is not having a good day.
He's not having a good day.
Just stay safe. All right. Can I turn into Heather for a moment and use her hunt ability to try and track down these beavers?
That sounds so wrong.
Because she's better at it than you are? Oh my god.
Significantly, yes.
Actually, that's the worst part. Does someone besides Tony actually have points in hunt?
Just the one.
Absolutely. You can turn into Heather. Like, to use her hunt ability. Like,
Cool.
because it's hilarious. Like,
All right.
so there's a lesbian in the forest. Like,
If there's a lesbian in the forest and no one's around to hear it,
like, here's
she rolls a 5.
dressed like
We're-
Javier.
We are hunting a giant beaver. I mean, it's all of the ingredients for
Fuck yeah. God damn it.
Oh,
So
my
mad you got that
God.
before
I need
me.
to write the timestamp down for that. Hold on. So I can go back and clip it. Because how do you not? It's so good. I don't have anything to write on. Oh my god. I just... Oh, that's too good. I'm going to say around 120. Like... Yeah, so the three of you, with the 5, are able to track down. It's actually not too difficult to begin with because beavers build dams, right? And you're able to find this colony of these giant beavers. And they're probably, from what you can tell, around 5 adults and about 7 babies. All just sort of either swimming in the river or taking down a tree. But yeah, it's a family it's a little colony of giant beavers that you found as the lesbian.
Cool. I'll turn back into me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird to be Heather the whole time. Anyone have an idea for the approach? This is about as far as my, and air quotes, plan went.
Are they all clustered together, or is there maybe one of them kind of off to the side?
Yeah, we'll say that there is definitely one that is off to the side, probably about 30, 35 feet from the dam, on the land, just gnawing a tree, an adult. Mm-hmm. And there's some babies, like, hanging around next to her.
Would I be able to use something like finesse to sneak up?
Yeah, we can finesse it to sneak up to the beaver. Or stalked. Or well, stalk's not a roll, is it?
No.
No, it's not. Or
Hunt or prowl would be the other ones.
prowl would most likely be the better one. Because finesse is more for like driving vehicles and operating things. Like prowl would be the better one, or even skirmish. But it's a fortune roll, so whichever you want has the most dice. I'll let you have.
I'll do finesse because I've kind of built Riley around finesse for like the agility
Gotcha.
sort of aspect of it. That's why I like her Jaguar, the finesse die on it. I got really worried because the only one I saw was a 1. The other one was a 6.
Yeah. So like surprisingly enough, you understand the concept of upwind and downwind. And luckily enough, you approach this mama giant beaver and her babies upwind. And, it's so big. Like, the tail almost feels like it's like a paddle boat, like an oar in itself that you would see on, like, a Viking ship or whatever. And you're able to, like, from the brush, just reach out and touch this beaver's tail, and it feels like a beaver tail. It's like a freaking beaver. It's rough and soft, and it's made of meat. Like, the tails are edible. Yeah, if you want to acquire this giant beaver, you can acquire her.
I will, yes, and then kind of holding her in that kind of state, I'll look back at everyone else to also do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, rush in there before things become awake again.
Yeah, and like you rush in, and the little babies are, I say the little babies are probably the size of like Irish wolfhounds. Like, they're pretty large, but they are babies. They are confused, but there's no fear, because what are you? They don't know what you are. You're not a predator. In fact, there's even like an air of curiosity about it, because you're not sneaking in, Javier. You just said you went in there. When you put your hand on this beaver to acquire it, you have like a baby literally just smelling you as you're doing it. Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna like this encounter.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no.
But yeah, I acquire her.
You acquire the mom, and Effie, are you coming to get a giant beaver as well?
So I don't think I want a giant beaver. I think I'm gonna wait, but I am going to come over just very easily, and nothing is bothered at all by me because I don't smell like a predator.
You look like a deer. Yeah.
On purpose. I look like just another beautiful little thing. And I'm just gonna wander right over, and as soon as their hands are off the mother, I am gonna shoot it in the head.
Holy crap.
You said you wanted the meats. Everyone said they wanted the meats and that they were cold.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Yep, and now
this
you
is
have
exactly what Javier asked me to do.
I'm not even there.
No,
fine.
You're not even there. You just you saunter over, and you shoot this helpless animal in its face. The smell of sizzling burnt fur touches like all of your nostrils. And that is definitely a smell. Like, the smell of burning is, for animals, because fire does occur naturally, a reason to get the fuck out. And so it's around this time that the babies do start to squeal and start to freak out because of the smell of essentially what smells like a fire, or the start of a fire. And they scatter and go like into the water, and now you have a several ton animal that you have to figure out what to do with.
Well, we can both become it.
Yeah, that is true.
So let's do that. Wiggle on under it.
Yeah, Riley flinches away when Effie shoots. She's been quiet most of this trip. But yeah, I'll turn into a giant beaver with you. We start dragging this thing.
Oddly enough, turning into a giant beaver is very similar to turning into a whale. Like, the first thing...
How similar?
Well, first... One, it's growing in size, but also the amount of fat that just starts to happen on your body. Like, essentially start to bubble in your body. And form.
Sounds like freshman year of college.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. That freshman 15, oof. Like, let's not even talk about the COVID-19. Like, we didn't catch it, but oh man, did we gain it. Actually, both happened for me. But, like, so, and you are, interesting enough, despite being a more or less a herbivorous creature, at this size, as beavers, they are rodents. Like, they are still, at the essence, they are rodents. And you grow in size, and this tail forms, and your teeth, like, your incisors become huge. And y'all are hippo-sized beavers, as you're not cold anymore, that's for sure. And then the babies turn around and are like, oh
no.
It's Mom, there's two of them. And they come and they sniff their dead mother, really confused, and then they go to you. I just to make this as awkward as possible, they go to you, Javier, and they start looking for teats.
I don't think we're gonna need any more meat for a while, so I think we just keep going. I think I just kind of flap my little tail, or my big ass tail, slightly to shoo them away.
Okay, they keep trying to come back. Like...
You know, I never liked the movie Bambi. That's it.
I never liked Bambi.
Do we have any rope? Did we bring the backpack, or did we leave the backpack with Tony?
We left the gun with Tony. I think we took the backpack.
Okay. Do we have any rope in the backpack?
Why do we want rope?
Because you guys are giant beavers. If y'all grab a couple decent sized chunks of log that they have pulled down, and we tie them together, then you could put the dead beaver on the logs, and y'all living beavers could drag that. It would probably be much easier than trying to figure out how to get one dead beaver on top of two living beavers.
No, I was going to pull it into the river, and we float the dead body down the river as beavers. It's a beaver solution for a beaver problem.
But eventually we gotta get it up there. That could work. We still gotta get it up.
Y'all could just, like, destroy the trees up there as beavers. Like, you can gnaw them.
Yeah.
And,
Javier uses tackle to get it down to the river.
Yeah, you know, this is not, it's an awkward task, but it's not necessarily a difficult task. Y'all are able to get it down the river to where, because the beavers were upstream from y'all, so you're able to float it down the river. At some point you pass the whale. Like, it's just really confused. Like, but it's eating fish. It's eating salmon, oddly enough. But it's eating fish. Like, it's adapting. It's just a river. It would like to be in the ocean, but it's not. And yes, there is the task of getting it. It can't fit in the cave that y'all are in, but y'all can drag it noisily through the forest, moving over. Y'all are big enough to move brush and logs and bee beavers, right? that being said, I'm assuming, Effie, like, you're not a beaver. What are you sort of, like, doing to, like, are you turning into something to follow? Like, are you just going as yourself? What's the general consensus of your own travel while they're dragging this beaver?
So I've still got the bag, and I know that they're going to be cutting down big trees, but they have taught me about building fires, and I know that the tree must be dry.
Yeah.
And these will not be, it's going to take them minutes. So I'm just going to keep grabbing, I'm stealing things like off the top of beaver dams, the stuff that's not too wet because it's been there a minute. I'm grabbing brush. I'm shoving Javier's bag full of random shit. He's going to be so annoyed there's leaves in the bottom of his bag.
With his granola.
Yes. Is that a loose ant or a raisin? Is it a poop from a pine?
There's some big
You'll
carpet
never
ants
know.
too, like just hanging the fuck out. Mosquitoes.
I'm
Fuck,
lucky
the
You'll be able to bring back the
mosquitoes.
tree that died.
Like, I think that as you're sort of going around doing a little bit of the chopping, you have 4 eyes, so you're a little bit more perceptive than all of the others. You see that tiny little flash again, but it's not from the camera that you knew of. You see it going down river. Like it was underwater, and you see the boop, and it's going down river.
So
it's moving.
It's moving. So I just pick up the pace a little. You know, I've been at a leisurely wander. Now I'm at like a soft canter. I'm just kind of see if I can catch up to it, or at least get a better glimpse at what it is.
You see like this little rod sticking out of the water and moving like a little antenna, and you see the little flash now and then. It's surveying the river, going down river, like it's a little camera.
All right. I am not gonna break stride as soon as I think within hearing range of my friends, the giant beavers. I'm just going to yell, there is a camera thing in the water.
You have
and
thought
I'm
speak, so
it.
You're fine.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean that's how I'm doing it, but I didn't know how far ahead of me they were. So as soon as I think I'm back in range, I'm just gonna holler to them that there's a drone or a camera. There is something in the water, and I'm gonna keep following it down.
Yeah, it's a 2-mile range for thought speak, essentially.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Are you gonna be like running down the river to continue to follow it, or do you want to try and grab it?
How close is it to the bank?
It's
like
in
a
the
beaver to
it's
grab
in the middle of the river. You
Oh,
you can also be
I
a
don't
crow,
know if it's
and
that
you're also a dolphin. Like, yeah,
I didn't like being in the water. It's a dolphin either.
I know.
Effie, do you
I'm
want help?
following it. I'm going to. She's gonna say no. I'm gonna tell you to keep trying to get because you guys have to have that. You have to have the beaver there because if nothing else, and I send you a very vivid image of Han and Luke and a tauntaun. Like it will be cold, and you get the tauntaun. Y'all like no. I'm like yes. Like I will call. I will let you know. I won't go too far. I just want to see where it goes.
Be careful.
I take off at a run, like I'm pacing it.
Yeah, you're along the banks running after it, Effie. and it's at some point you're even going at full speed because it's just like, wait a second, is the river moving faster? Is the camera moving faster? You're unsure, but you have to start like picking up the pace to keep up with it. And at some point, maybe about after following it for 10 minutes, so you're probably at your speed, maybe a mile and a half downriver. It just goes into the air in slightly saucer form. The little camera the little stalk just kind of goes back, and it goes all the way up, and it flies away.
Okay. I'm going to. It's so fast. By the time I've gone crow, it will be out of my sight. So I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna let everybody hear all the best words I have learned from both Javier and Tony, and the 3 most terrible ones I learned from Riley. Everybody's hearing every and I'm doing them like Castiel wrong. I'm ass butting it like I'm
Castiel wrong.
But I'm mad. I'll be like, it went out of the water and it flew away. Fast.
There's nothing we can do about it now. We need to survive the night.
Did you see what direction it was going when it flew off?
Yes. What direction did it go?
So, you don't know right now what north, south, east, and west is.
All right, my answer is going to be yes, that way.
Okay.
As we're looking at myself doing this, if you were going downriver, and downriver is this way, and upriver is this way, and y'all are pretending upriver is your current north, and downriver is your current south. It would have gone south, east.
All right. Is there a landmark or anything where I'd be like, yes, the big tree, the mountain with the snow, or anything? I can
No.
be like, that way. Okay.
No, everything is green.
So I'm just really gonna be unhelpful.
Actually, like if you had gotten into the air at any point, maybe you could have pinpointed something.
So no, I just send y'all a very helpful yes that way, and everybody gets an image of just nothing but trees and river. It looks exactly the same as it looks standing by where you are. Super helpful.
I will, after a pause, Effie, stick a stick in the ground or something standing up so we can find it later and we can investigate from there.
Javier has a can of spray paint in his bag. If you need, it's yellow.
I'm going to take Javier's can of spray paint and I'm going to very carefully stick it upright in the sand. Its yellow cap is so visible. Great job, B.
That was good.
Who taught me how to spray paint? None of y'all.
No, it was really good.
What do you think the spray paint was in there? I was decorating the hideout.
Yeah. As all of that is happening and stuff, Tony, you're in the cave by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you were doing in the cave by yourself that you can share with everyone? Because as it was yeah.
The first thing would be screaming very loudly once they
everybody
had
heard
gone out
that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After that, I have good news and bad news.
Oh.
The good news is he's going to start a fire, or try to. The bad
Mhm.
news is I don't think he's going to at all think about ventilation systems and how they would work in caves.
Like, it's like you can make it at the mouth of a cave as long as it's not raining. Like, you're fine, right?
Honestly, I doubt he'll be able to start it. But
Yeah, what do you want to roll for the start of your fire?
let's see. First thought, considering where we are and the vague
Mhm.
recollection he'd have that the best way to do a spark, considering what he has on hand, would be to try to do the rock banging thing.
Okay. Because the
I
matches
would-
were taken with the backpack,
Yep.
apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the
He
lighter.
gave me the gun, and he's not quite ready. Actually, I don't think he'd think at the moment of the spark of the gun igniting something, but that's probably for the best.
There is technically gunpowder in the bullets, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are you rolling for this again?
So we'll go for Hunt or Tinker. We'll do Tinker.
Yeah, Tinker sounds
good one.
like, modern prehistoric technology tools. Let's
I've
go.
taken it because he's been camping at
Yeah.
the thing for a while, so I figured
Yeah.
he started to break things / try to fix them
Yeah.
because we've been living with junk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 4. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it is. It's successful. You're able to make a spark on these pine needles. It's very smoky, right? Incredibly smoky at first because you don't know about the ventilation. Pine needles in general are just an incredible smoky tinder. And as you're just sort of like fanning the smoke and coughing, and like a brief second you look up and there are 2 huge fucking bright eyes staring at you in the tree branches.
Jeez. Interesting.
And it looks like a giant fucking bug. Like an 8-foot tall, like huge, like almost like mirror-like eyes with like a fuzzy like chest and folded wings, kind of like the gargoyles do from the cartoon, and it's staring at you and you're staring at it.
Oh yeah.
And from beneath its wings it pulls out a tiny little box and brings it to its face.
Oh my god.
And snaps a picture of you and then flies away.
What?
Like, you don't
Tony?
know if it's a fever dream of what you just saw or not. But like, and this is about time that the beavers arrive.
What a series of lines.
Yeah.
What was in the pine needles? What did you just fucking smoke?
You don't get to ask that till later.
Tony's able to morph a pipe in green, like in his white shorts pockets.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, convince. Like, and Effie's also screaming, "I lost it! It went that way!" And you get the image in your head. And the thing is like all of that happens simultaneously to seeing this thing perched in the trees taking a photograph of you.
It thinks it just got a first photo of the life on this planet figuring out fire. It's gonna be so sad. Oh god. What the fuck? We will go out of the cave to try and figure out what the hell they were doing and what the flying swim camera is.
Yep.
We got the beaver. There might be little ones who eventually catch up. But for now we have this.
You have meat and fur that you somehow have to figure out how to use.
Uh-huh.
I can butcher it.
With what? Oh, with your teeth.
That-
Giant beaver teeth. It's gonna be disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that all animals have some level of cannibalism if things are low, so it's not that weird for the beaver to eat itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had started to say something, you knocked the pause into me. Does Javier not have a knife in the bag?
You have the bag though.
I know, but I'm on my way back.
Yeah, okay.
But it's
That's
a
probably a better
tiny
idea.
knife, and this is a big beaver.
It's a switch knife. We can even say it
That's
because
what
I
he
don't know.
said.
Javier just seems like the kind of guy that would have a switchblade on him. Like, wow, with that. I know it's the '90s, Adrian, but geez. Like,
I
do you
know
have
a
a
knife came into
utility
play.
knife on
A knife came into play in the first season, and I think it was just like a full knife.
you? Like a machete?
No, not a machete.
No.
Just a
Oh,
big,
no,
just
man.
a big old knife. Like
Just
that's
a regular,
enough. Like
yeah, like a
Yeah.
pop-up knife.
yeah.
He'd have to turn back into his hunting form to get the machete.
It
Riley
comes
is
equipped
going-
with Heather.
Honestly, probably if you like turned into Heather, she would be much better at making the fire too. So, so y'all sort of all reconvene. I don't know if y'all are people again. One of the interesting things is that y'all, there is a trail that y'all have left. Both the trail of having two giant beavers, like, moving through the forest, which is not that weird. Like, that's a pretty normal thing. But just also take note that you did shoot something in the head. So there is some blood. The wound was cauterized, like, almost immediately, so there's not, like, a lot of blood. But once you start, cutting open the beaver, there's blood. So just kind of keep that in mind. But commence. Yeah.
Riley is going to sit out from cutting open the beaver with her mouth.
Fair.
I will turn back into a human and just quietly sit off to the side, just kind of watch our surroundings.
I think I'll
the
come
blood
in.
starts going, but once he starts spraying blood everywhere as he mauls this thing, Tony's going to turn into an owl because that might attract things we don't want. And that's his best. Actually, he'll turn into the cat. He only needs to sound an alarm. The cat senses will be better in general.
Yes, cats that small are technically prey, though.
Oh, I'm aware.
Gotcha.
It's more about being able to know something's coming for us than fighting it.
Fair. Very much fair.
So what you're telling me is that when I walk up on this clearing, what I walk up on is a beaver halfway into a beaver, while Riley's just sitting there like, oh no, no, God, no, oh no, why? And Tony is a small cat perched upon a rock, like, oh, this is interesting. I'm just sitting there like, all right, I'm just gonna look at Riley, look at the beaver, look at Riley, look at Javier, look at Riley, and go, are you not covered in blades half the time?
You do have a Horkfish earborn.
I was not going to mention it.
Yeah, but Riley doesn't
I
like
know.
doesn't like the animals. The hurt in that book because whatever.
Yeah, Riley's really. If you ask her to, she would, but she's
No,
not
that's why
enthusiastic about doing this.
That's why I offered.
Hey, Riley, how big do bugs get back now?
I don't know. How would I?
You're the only one here who has any sort of knowledge of animals. I was just hoping.
I mean, we don't even know when we are. We can approximate, but I read a few books growing up, but they were like kids' books. They weren't anything that would help us right now.
Okay. So just to let everyone know, there are some sort of gigantic insect in the forest. Like, huge. Like,
Took a
at
picture.
least 4 or 5 feet tall.
More like 8.
Yeah. Tony's trying to make this sound
Yeah.
as less crazy, the least crazy he can.
Yeah.
Was it just, did you see it passing by? Was it hunting you?
It
What?
was watching me as I started the very smoky fire.
Did it do anything?
I think the sun must have caught part of it. There was like a flash, and it was really weird.
Might be an alien.
I was kind of nodding. I'm like, it could be an alien.
Says the alien.
Does it sound like any that you're familiar with?
There's a lot of space, a lot of people in it. People who were gone by the time we got there. None of that sounds familiar or reasonable. Honestly, I am a little bit worried that Tony has too much smoke in his face. But also, we are in the past. So, she's so over it, she don't know. She has no idea. What was that?
Theoretically, we could be in the future. There could have been an ice age and like giant extinction event and whatnot.
And the beavers got bigger.
Well, that's a great thought. I'm gonna start shifting back into my human form. Can I have my knife? I don't want to continue to mount this thing.
My knife.
So Effie goes ahead. She shoves the bag at you. It is helpfully full of pine cones and needles, but also sticks. Kindling, yes.
Your knife isn't very big. Do you want me to take a turn?
If you're comfortable, you don't have to. It's just gonna take a while, but time.
Might as well. And I will, without saying anything else, I will just go full Hork-Bajir, which I think is the first time I've done the full Hork-Bajir.
It's definitely interesting being a Hork-Bajir, Riley. Hork-Bajir are sentient beings. They aren't necessarily the most, by human and Andalite standards, the most, I don't want to say like intelligent, that's very xenophobic towards a fictional race, but the thing that's really interesting to you is how in this as a Hork-Bajir, in these sprawling trees, in this dense, thick forest, there's a part of that Hork-Bajir being within you that feels at peace and at home, and also very uncomfortable with the idea of using its blades to cut up meat, because Hork-Bajirs are vegetarians.
Riley feels pretty bad about that in the moment, but tries to push that down and just gets to work.
Yeah, and it's much faster and easier to both skin this beaver to get its hide, which how y'all are going to dry and cure it to actually use as a blanket is up to, we'll figure that one out. And of course to get meat as y'all stoke the fire. as we sort of leave on that scene with the sun setting, we will take our break. Yep, we will take about a 10-minute break, everyone. We will be back. Get your bios, get your snacks. I'm gonna get a snack. And all that good stuff. And we'll be back. Sup, nerds? We're back. We did some bio breaks, and I had some potato chips and got some more coffee and other things that I might not be legally allowed to say on camera. So we're back with some Animorphs. They're somewhere in the Pliocene. When and where, who knows? I mean, I know. But I know I know where, when we're taking artistic liberty with. As you know, there was a moth thing person man that took Tony's picture earlier today. So we sort of come back after the sun is set, and y'all figured out somehow to skin this beaver. And how did y'all decide to cure it?
So Javier had the idea that using his deodorant body spray, the aerosol, with a bit of fire, we could make a little flamethrower to just kind of work through that process as quickly as possible.
Are you doing the whole hide, or just like three?
Just enough.
Just enough to like cover the three of you of the hide.
Yeah.
Okay. What part have y'all decided to eat?
I mean the hinds, right? The meaty legs.
There's beaver tail is also delicious.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
I've never partook.
It's very fatty. It's actually, beaver in general is very fat. One thing that y'all would definitely know, being that these are wild animals, is to make sure you thoroughly well done cook your meat. I know, like, the amount of parasites that you would get if you didn't would be astronomically unsafe. But yeah, y'all aerosol essentially because you left the paint back down the river.
It's all right. I looked it up. Gillette came out with a body spray in the 1960s.
Yeah, it's a Gillette body spray.
I bet
we are
that
not
case smells
sponsored.
great.
We would do it outside the cave. Come on.
Yeah, do it outside the cave. Which, here's what's up. Like, all of this stuff that y'all are doing, building a fire, spraying Gillette, is just keeping the wildlife away from you. Like, they are not okay with what you're doing. Like, at some point, the little peccaries come back, like, curiously to see if they have a space to, like, live again, but you are still clearly occupying it, and they're very upset. You even see at some point, here, like, it's interesting because the ground sort of shakes when, like, the mastodons start to pass by, and they also just, like, move away from you. Like, 1, blood, 2, body spray, like, 3, fire.
We are getting a letter from the Ice Age Homeowners Association.
Something like that. But yeah, so y'all are able to sort of do that, and sure enough, like, when when the sun is down, it does get cold. There's no precipitation in the air, so, like, but if there was, you would guess at the very least it would snow at this level of coldness, and probably on some of the higher mountain peaks there would be snow, and very quickly even the humidity in the air freezes into frost and touches the leaves and the pine needles and the fallen trees, and even, on this animal that y'all have slaughtered for your meat's sake. But the meat itself, it's meat. Y'all can probably season it with oatmeal packaging, like to make it slightly sweet. Like, look at Arnica. Like.
I started to have a fit, and I remembered I eat grass through my feet. I don't have to put this oatmeal beaver in my mouth. Oatmeal away, y'all.
No, I'm thinking
Sweet
Riley
is not the worst.
Yeah.
Riley, I think, actually makes the oatmeal.
You just make the oatmeal. You don't want to eat the beaver. Nice, fair.
No, she's been leaning vegetarian since homecoming.
Fair. And y'all haven't done any foraging, so. But yeah, that is something. And this is sort of like if y'all needed to do a downtime activity to heal up stress or whatnot. Now, while y'all set up your watches for the moth cameraman, now would be, or controllers, now would be the time to do it.
So, who wants to take a nap first? It's been a stressful day for everybody. I look over to Tony. Anybody interested in resting?
Sorry, trying to think.
Yeah. I imagine that's exactly what Tony does. I disassociates. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, because the only other response he has is not something I could see him doing. He's nowhere near that toxic masculine to yell at.
But you are still a teenager.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
You are still you are a child.
It's this close.
Yeah.
Just feel like he has enough self-control not to yell the bad things quite yet. That's like 2 days from now.
Affy, I don't really know how you do in the cold and the dark. Do you want to take first watch though, while we huddle by the fire?
My night vision is a little bit better than yours. I think I will take the darkest watch before dawn, but I will sit here and I just kind of I do the couch thing. I make myself into a couch back about 6 feet back from the fire so that anyone who sits between me and the fire is real cozy. I'm like, I will just sit here. And if anyone is cold, they can sit here. And I just kind of wiggle a little bit.
An Andalite loaf couch?
Loaf couch.
Snuggle with the Andalite. I don't know if I've ever needed to snuggle with an Andalite before, but I might now.
Riley, I know, and I kind of just look over to the meat, and everything else it's not exactly you're not, you did something real hard. I think maybe you should take a rest. Let me do first watch, okay?
Okay.
All right. While everyone's napping, I want to. I'm not gonna go away from the cave or anything like that, but I want to pick up whatever sticks I can find, whatever shit we have, and cut different lengths of sticks and whatnot to try and make a thing for later.
Making spears?
No, far less useful, honestly.
Okay.
But necessary either way.
Okay. What are you making?
Now I'm way more curious.
I'm trying to make the pieces for a chess set.
Okay.
Oh.
And just yeah, that's most of what I'm doing. And then maybe if what can I do this on? Maybe just on like a nice flat part of like the rock somewhere, like carve out the checkerboard pattern for later.
Go ahead and just roll me a tinker real quick. I know that this is your downtime, but I want to see how well this comes out for you. Yeah. And like it's gonna what you roll is gonna how you reduce your stress anyway, so
cool. Can I switch to something that has tinker?
What do you have that has tinker?
A mouse. My mouse, I put tinker.
I don't think your mouse can hold the knife to carve it.
That's fair.
I don't know why. It's not. It's if it's only one dice or at a disadvantage, like just roll one dice. Like you're not going to get a disadvantage.
Gotcha. I don't know why I put mouse into tinker. I think my idea of tinker was off, but oh well. That's all right. That is a 5 for me.
Okay, nice. Go ahead and delete 5 from your stress. And you do fairly well with carving out these pieces in a sense that, as far as like, you're able to get flat bottoms at the very least with the way that you're carving, and at least do different sides to them. And then like sort of, you're able to get at least to the first half of the set, and you're able to put like P, K, T, so that you can't like carve out particularly.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I could.
But you can make the semblance of things of like of game pieces or tokens that can be used on like a checkerboard, right? That you can draw in the dirt. Because you left your paint by the river. But as you're doing that, hanging out, there's a slight rustle, and you hear something whiz by, and your paint can is thrown at your feet.
Okay. So that was over by the river and all that.
Yeah.
Got it. What do I have? Man, I really should have acquired more animals with night vision. Or any animals.
Or any animals. Nope, Javier's just gonna get all the people that he can get. Like...
Listen, it was useful when we were back on regular Earth.
This is also regular Earth. I don't know what you're talking about.
But no, I think at the very least, I'll morph into my fusion morph. That is just those things, and equip Heather's hunt ability so that I can at least have the gun out and try to be more aware.
Nothing else happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Like in those 2 hours that you're as Heather, like nothing else happens. Who do you wake up to take over for the next one?
I think I'm gonna wake up Tony.
Okay. Do you tell him about the paint can?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Something knows we're here, and I show him paint can. With the amount of stress we've had today, I figured it was best to just keep an eye on it rather than chasing after anything right now. We're not going to be great if we're all too tired and all that. here's everything, the weapons and whatnot. If anything happens, you know, just yell.
I mean, considering what I'm pretty sure you'd hear if anything happened, even if I didn't yell.
Uh-oh, we lost Anna!
Oh,
Oh no! 5 seconds. I'm gonna put us on the splash page and see if we can get her back. Us back real quick. We're back. We did it. It's okay. No one died.
Yet. No one died yet.
And but yeah, yeah, so as y'all were talking, the two of you.
I know it's a small space, but you're a very brave man, and just don't do things without us. You know?
Sure. Just, you should probably think about that yourself before you decide to do certain things. But thank you, I guess.
You're right. I've been working on it. Still working on it. When you wake up Arnica,
Effie?
Nope. When you wake up Effie, can you tell her to wake me and Riley up just before dawn? Riley seems to be having a rough time, and I think I have an idea for something nice for her.
Sure. However, Tony is going to morph into a cat and leave all of the random guns and stuff, because that just doesn't seem that good if we're trying to not, start fights.
You're gonna morph into a cat. So
Yeah,
I will also say, like, in part of your supplies is also a pocket watch, like, or a wristwatch or something, so that y'all are able to, like, watch your own time, just in case y'all weren't around Effie. So that way, like, I'm not worried about y'all getting trapped unless something happens. Are you doing anything as a cat to relieve any stress?
Yes, but I'm not 100% sure what it would be. Actually, I have a good idea. It just wouldn't work mechanically for his normal virtue, but as the cat going around and scratching and marking the tree. Yeah, no, he was a Tom. So yeah, scratching and marking the trees and such.
You're just gonna go around and mark your territory?
Yeah.
Yeah, be manly. Cat manly.
That is, you were a big old Tom, just marking your
Yeah.
territory.
Yep. Honestly,
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
it made really good sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good. The I think one number I needed to roll to completely overindulge.
Did you overindulge as a cat?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yep.
This is the worst time to do that.
I know.
You do clear your stress.
Yeah.
Tony not listening to Javier like whatsoever. Just hi Viv. You decide like the cat. Here's the thing that's also going on with your cat as it's marking its territory and whatnot. It also realizes that the danger in it is and the prey that it is. But you sort of just give into this guy. Like, you are completely, like, on a level of disassociation as you're doing this. And I have a question for you that I'm going to send to you DM-wise, and just tell me if it's okay or not, because I have an idea. But it's completely up to you. So, I'll just DM you in Zoom. Because I'm not going to do this without your permission.
I am both excited and a little scared.
Deeply alarmed.
Oh.
It would be temporary.
No, I get that.
And you would change playbooks.
That sounds really fun. It works for how I figured was going to go anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll figure it out then. There comes a point in the night where Arnica, Effie has an internal clock with everything, and you know when you're like expected to wake up, and like that's like the thing is like with Andalites, y'all have 4 eyes, and 2 of them are open at all times. Like, that is the point of having 4 eyes. And you see Tony like in your sleep as a cat sort of wander off, and there comes a point where your internal clock kicks in. It's like, he should be back by now. And he's not, and it does wake you up fully. What do you do?
So, here's the thing. Sleeping and dreaming as an Andalite is weird as fuck, because since you always have the eye stalk eyes open and they're actively reading what's going on around you, it's always just kind of worked into whatever you're dreaming about.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tony the cat dreams, he's wandering off, he's doing cat things. That's awesome. I can vaguely see the outline of him, and so he's doing cat things in my dream.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just, as you say, within a certain amount of time, my brain goes, he's reaching the end of his time. And that's fine. Tony's been doing this for a while. Obviously, he knows to come back, but he hasn't come back. And he's not going to shift out of cat in the cold and the dark with his bare little human feet and his naked little pink skin. Like, it's a terrible idea. He's not going to do it. So I really carefully kind of shift. Riley and Javier are like asleep. Riley's like slobbing on Javier's shoulder. Javier's slobbing on me. You know, good friends. So I just kind of gently kind of lift the two of them a little bit so that Riley's a little bit more on Javier, and Javier's on like the nicest rock I can find. Like it looks like it's the right size to not be pointy. That's the best I can do for you, friend. Just the nicest rock I can find. And I very quietly just kind of shush them as I lean past the
You shush
fire,
them
and
through
I-
your nostrils?
I mean, it's not a sound, but I'm like mentally shushing them. I don't know.
Yeah.
They can't hear me, but I can't help myself. You shush people as you sneak by.
Mm-hmm.
So, just kind of sneaking out, and I take myself right outside the range of the firelight so I hate doing it, but I close all of my eyes for a minute just so I can force adjust them back to the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And as fast as possible, I open one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them down here. So I
Mm-hmm.
got an upper eye and a lower eye open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking kind of behind myself, and I can't see this fucking cat nowhere.
Can't see this
More
fucking cat
importantly,
nowhere.
I can't see Tony.
Yeah. Can't see Tony, you can't see the cat.
He's a bright orange cat too. Should be really
Yeah,
easy.
she can't see him. Don't worry, what's actually happening to you, Tony? When they find you, it'll be great. Like, let's see if Effie goes and on her own to find you or wakes up everyone else.
So I do a little dance because if something has happened to Tony, he needs to be found as quick as possible so we can wake him up and get him back in human form. Or what if he's already in human form and hurt? But also, Javier will be so loud if I just leave them sleeping. And Riley will be so disappointed. They will be loud and disappointed. But Tony, but the loud disappointment. I am going to. I'm gonna do one of those things where I can be like, I tried, and I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna like kick a little pebble, not super hard, but kind of hard. I'm gonna kick a pebble at Javier's foot, just boop. And if he wakes up, then I'll tell him. But if you don't wake up, then I'm just gonna go look for Tony real quick.
Odds evens?
Yeah.
Odds evens. I'll be odds.
Okay.
Odds as you stay asleep, evens you wake up.
Alright. That's a 3. I'm-
I tried!
So it's, okay, I kicked the little pebble and the pebble bounced off his ankle and he just kind of made the mouth and noise, simultaneous noise, and rolled over some. Like the rock was really comfy. I haven't quite figured out what snoring it is, the mouth noise so much. He did that. Obviously, I have tried my best. I have to go find Tony. Because Tony is, they're all my friends now. I am not supposed to have favorites, but Tony is my favorite. Which, is extra awkward. But he is just so very nice. And what if something has eaten him? Because I slept too long. I didn't sleep too long. I am never late. I am always on time. But obviously, I slept too long. And so I wander off towards the dark looking for, you know what? I can smell it. I have a tomcat. My son's son recently, it took us a minute before he got fixed. He's old enough now, he's fixed. But you know where he's gone. You can't miss it.
Yeah, it's being
So
it even overpowers the Gillette body spray that's in the air. In fact, the Gillette body spray makes it worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it always does.
So as soon as the wind blows the right way, and I'm like, oh no, I found the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I start heading off in that direction, kind of sending out mental because that is the sound that the Riley makes when she chases the cat. So that is the sound I'm making. And it does not sound right because
No.
I don't have a tongue. So I'm not entirely sure how Riley makes that sound because your mouth is mostly closed when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to imitate that, and it's just a really weird clicking, just like a guttural, just kind of click, 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 click. It's
Amazing.
It's unhelpful.
Mm-hmm. As you go making mental into the night, following the stench, you come across it's cold and it's a fairly clear night when you come across you get to the riverbank and you see hunched over something gray and sort of fuzzy and furry, and it's into the water, and then it stands up to its full height, its back towards you, and you see the little antenna just sort of come out, and then slowly turning around, holding a large orange cat and gently petting it on the head, is what I can only describe as a Mothman. As it turns and looks at you curiously, and you hear in thought speak, "Greetings. You're not part of the tour, are you?" And that's where we're going to leave it, I think. Like, a little bit early, but I think that is a really good way to leave it. So essentially. So thank you for everyone for coming and showing up. We're ending early. There is some interesting complications for playbooks, as most of the attributes that they gain while here are not going to be carried over. But real quick, Riley, if you're gonna reduce stress, I think sleeping is just what you're gonna do at this point.
I have no stress.
Then you are fine. Like...
Riley is very good at managing her stress levels. She's in a very bad place right now, but she's fine mechanically, stress-wise.
Mechanically, she's fine. But we're gonna do kind of like that off screen just because it's a lot. But yeah, we will just thank you everyone for coming and showing up. We will be back next week, of course, with this. We have 8, 9, 10, so 3 episodes left of this, and I hopefully, Mothman willing, we will make it those 3 weeks without another delay. I think so. I think we'll be good. Hopefully no one, like, there's no tornadoes or hurricanes or, other acts of God. As far as the rest of the week on my channel and myself, first on Saturday, you will catch us back for Dragon Age. We are also about halfway done with that one. We took the past 2 weeks off. Last week was a week we were going to take off anyway because of the holiday. And then 2 weeks ago, we had just some real life stuff that needed to be taken care of. But we'll be back this week at noon Pacific time with that. On Sunday, you can find me over this coming Sunday at Nat 1 Heroes, where we'll play some Rime of the Frost Maiden. We have a guest players by the name of Secular Rarity. You probably know him if you follow any of the atheist activism. He is a show host on Talk Heathen, of course DM'd by the lovely Dr. Ben, because I think he's not going to be a student anymore. He's about to get his doctorate, so I'm very happy for Ben. And then next Sunday, just as a reminder, we'll be premiering some Brundlewood Bay over at Sword and Key, where I get to play a 67-year-old retired paleo artist who can't dig up dinosaur bones or do her art anymore because she has a lot of arthritis. But that's fine. She's reading mystery novels with her besties. And solving crime and murders. It's fine. And with that is me. The rest of you in the opposite direction, what y'all doing in the next week? What's going on? Arnica.
All right. Hi. Thank you so much. I've been Arnica X Ross. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Hive under Arnica X Ross. Upcoming. So my birthday party 4-episode miniseries spectacular launches this Friday. Come join us at Girls Run These Worlds, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for As We Ran Through Rotten Wonderlands. Doesn't that sound like the birthday party you want to go to? Of course it is. I'm full of fuckery and bullshit and balloons, and I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it easy. I'm just doing this and that for at least another 2 weeks.
I'm Nilsson. I was playing Tony. I kind of am just on Twitter and here for now because I went back to school and that has been taking my time.
Fair.
I'm next. I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. You can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun. As far as where to find me, I said I wouldn't do it again, and I'm back in my bullshit recording or streaming every night for the next couple weeks. I am exhausted. But a few highlights of places to find me. Tuesday nights, you can find me over on Ballad of the Seven Dice with Nostradamus Core, Phantom Ice, our brand new Lancer mini-series. I'm playing what I can only describe as an unhinged lesbian, Nuclear Cavalier. Her call sign is Glow because her mech is always in partial meltdown. It's a fun time. Sorry, getting thoughts together. Saturdays, you can find me over on Lost Caravan with Fatal Ascension, our Fabula Ultima campaign. If you like the golden era of JRPGs, that's what Fabula Ultima is as a system. We have a great cast of characters over there. We had our first episode. It's available on demand. Things hit the fan right away. The first episode is called The Beginning of the End, who did not start us off lightly for this campaign. Still plenty of time to catch up and come and meet Cadence, my time assassin. If you enjoy Lancer, you can find me a response team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast following a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines of brewing conflict. We've been described as if Battlestar Galactica had its own red versus blue. Find us anywhere you normally get your podcast, and on Twitter, RT Omnicron. And of course, keep an eye out for Emergent Code, an upcoming queer and trans-led Animon Story podcast taking cues from Digimon Tamers and Digimon Survive. And you can find us on Twitter currently at Emergent Code Pod. And we will have a character reveal trailer up very soon, and new episodes up shortly after that. So follow us on social media to keep track of where that is. I have a bunch of new series starting up yet that I can't quite talk about. Some charity games coming up this month as well that you can find on my social media. And of course, keep an eye out for U-Force Inheritance, our Masks actual play over on Thorny Dryad's channel. And for everything else, just check my social media because I don't want to keep going on about this. So that's all for me.
It's helping me decide who to raid, so we're good.
And hi, I'm Raul Alejandro Gonzalez Rodriguez. You can call me Ollie or Lekis D Stratus on the internets. And on the 29th of this month, the 29th. That's a Saturday. Yes, that is. On the 29th of this month, we're going to be starting our first stream on my channel, I guess. It's twitch.tv/Delta Cryptid Productions. And it's actually going to be streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So you can do it there too. The YouTube is the exact same. So it'd be easy to find. I'll be posting more about that on Twitter, so keep an eye out there.
All right, and with that, we're just gonna go over and rate our friends over at Girls Run These Worlds. Looks like they're playing Roll for Luck. Not sure exactly what system is going on right now, but that's happening, and we're gonna go send them some love and all that good stuff, and we will see you next week. Bye. See you later.